AT&T Foundations.
News 12, national award-winning journalism on your side. Watch 1226 on your side, wherever you go. From the station that's on your side, this is News 12, first at 4.
Just a little over an hour ago, Columbia County Sheriff's Office released that no crime was committed at the St. Teresa of Avila Catholic Church. Recently, the church has made headlines over alleged abuse. A mom was out on bond after attacking her son's teacher at the church daycare. She says she had video proof of the teacher abusing her son. In the video we received from an attorney representing the mom, you can see her fighting the teacher. Over the weekend, the church came forward saying there was no proof of the teacher abusing the son. First at 4, with new vaccine mandates coming down for employers from the federal government, the Labor Department will issue a ruling that would require businesses with more than 100 employees to get vaccinated or get tested weekly. South Carolina and Georgia governors are threatening lawsuits against President Biden's administration. Some of the places that could be requiring to have all of their employees vaccinated are Doctors Hospital, AU Health, University Hospital, Georgia Power and Plant Vogel, and Georgia Pacific, along with many others like Target, Walmart, and Amazon. Many people may be wondering if this is allowed at all. Celeste Springer is live for us with the legal questions to the vaccine mandates. Celeste?
Well, we've gone over it before. Employers can absolutely require their employees to get vaccinated, but it is, of course, a fair question. Can the government require employers to make sure their employees get the shot? So I went straight to a local constitutional lawyer to get answers. So Governor Brian Kemp has already said he intends to pursue every legal option to prevent this mandate from going into effect. If it does go to court, we do have some legal precedent to refer back to. One, a case from 1905, Jacobson v. Massachusetts, which sided with the state to require smallpox vaccinations. Secondly, the OSH Act of 1970, which requires employers to maintain safe work environments. The Section A section of the act says the Secretary of Labor may enforce temporary emergency acts to protect employees from dangerous substances or agents.
I don't see a great difference between the mandate requirement and other safety measures that the federal government has imposed in the workplace. In fact, the need for protection against this virus is far more compelling than the risk you might drop something heavy on your foot if you don't have steel-toed boots.
And coming up at 6 o'clock, I'm working on a story about if a lawsuit is filed, where it could possibly go from here.
Thanks so much, Celeste, for that live update. More news ahead, but first let's get a live look over I-20 on this beautiful Monday. Riley, today's great, and this weekend was just as nice.
I know, it's beautiful weather out there the past several days. We've been enjoying a lot of sunshine, lower humidity. Our temperatures haven't been too bad either. We are staying below 90 degrees in Aiken at the moment. 88 degrees right now on the thermometer. Dew point's not too bad, but starting to feel a little bit more humid than what they were over the weekend, and those will continue to rise as we head over the next couple of days. Now, looking at our temperatures across the area, we're in the mid to upper 80s north of I-20. A few spots getting close to 90 here around Augusta, and then Louisville in Jefferson County, you are the hot spot right now at 91 degrees. As we continue into this evening, we're actually expecting fairly nice weather. So if you have any plans to be outdoors all the way up until sunset into the overnight, looking dry for us with a good bit of sunshine out there. Not too many clouds to deal with for the rest of this evening. As we head into the overnight, we're expecting mostly clear skies, calm winds, which is actually going to allow the potential for some patchy, dense fog to form by early tomorrow morning. So be mindful of that. If you do have an early commute, we could be seeing some fog, but most of our Tuesday does look dry for us. The higher rain chance is going to start heading our way by Wednesday. We'll have a look at that in the full forecast in just about 10 minutes.
Today, the son of Julian Lewis, who was killed by a Georgia State trooper, is announcing a 60-mile march. The March for Justice is being created to call attention to the lack of charges for the officer who killed his father during a traffic stop last year.
On behalf of Brooke Bacon, who is determined to not let this case be swept under the historical rug, to not allow this runaway grand jury to be the end of the narrative, and to keep pushing for justice.
The march starts this Thursday in Sylvania. Colleges around Georgia are protesting over COVID-19 policies. Today, faculty members joined in. More than 16 campuses were protesting the University System of Georgia to put a mask mandate in place. Right now, the university system is not allowing universities to make their own COVID policies, so faculty have decided they want to stand up and make their voices heard about the lack of COVID safety policies. But organizers stress that this is not a walkout or a strike, and they won't interrupt classes. Emergency officials are still working to figure out why an explosion happened at a Georgia apartment complex. 4 people were injured in the explosion at Dunwoody Community on Saturday afternoon. There were at least 75 firefighters who responded to the scene. Investigators said at least 3 apartments were destroyed in the blast and caused a partial collapse to another building. Now crews are working to make sure other buildings are safe and looking into the cause.
I heard the loudest scream I think I've ever heard somebody scream. Like they said, so we didn't know if it was like a bomb related or if it was like somebody crashed their car into the apartments, because it was crazy, man. We sitting in bed and the whole thing was shook, man. It's crazy.
For now, DeKalb County Fire and Rescue officials believe the explosion was caused by a gas line issue, but they're not sure just yet. A California man is in custody today after being found with multiple weapons near the Democratic National Committee headquarters in Washington, D.C. Capitol Police say the 44-year-old had several knives in his truck, including a machete, which is illegal there. The car also had a swastika and other white supremacist symbols painted on it. Officers on patrol noticed the truck around midnight. The U.S. Capitol Police have completed their internal investigation related to the January 6th attack. Now they're recommending that 6 officers be disciplined for their actions during that day. The names have not been released. Those actions range from improper remarks, failure to comply, and not behaving like a Capitol Police officer. A 7th case is still pending. As the crisis in Afghanistan continues, the United Nations is launching an aid conference to raise money for the country. The conference today in Geneva is to raise more than $600 million for emergency humanitarian needs in Afghanistan. So far, $20 million has been approved. About half of the country's population is thought to be in need, and this humanitarian crisis has only been worsening by severe drought, the COVID pandemic, and the Taliban's recent takeover.
Even before the dramatic events of last week's, Afghans were experiencing one of the worst humanitarian crises in the world. Today, 1 in 3 Afghans do not know where their next meal will come from.
The world has been watching the Taliban establish their new government, but people have been having trouble getting access to food under their new rule. Tropical storm Nicholas is moving along the Gulf Coast of Texas. It's expected to stay off the coast today, but will make landfall tonight as a possible Category 1 hurricane. State officials are worried about the possible flooding along Texas's coastal region, but the state's governor says he's confident and has been preparing ahead of time for this storm.
The state of Texas began preparing for this days ago, making sure that we were mobilizing all the supplies and support and resources that were needed by all the different local officials in all the various regions.
Tropical storm Nicholas will be hitting areas in southern Louisiana that are still recovering from Hurricane Ida damage. As the Delta variant surges nationwide, many hospitals are reporting increases in pregnant women admitted with COVID. Doctors are urging pregnant moms to get vaccinated. Tara Molina introduces us to a new mom who wants to get the word out after spending 2 months in the hospital.
Hi, big boy. Kentrice Anadumaka is enjoying every moment with her son, CJ. After contracting COVID-19 at 6.5 months pregnant, she ended up in the ICU.
What was going through my mind was, I pray to God that my husband and my mom can raise my son, because I don't think I'm going to make it out of here.
Kentrice had not been vaccinated.
I wanted to get the vaccine, but I wanted to see how it panned out a little bit more.
Nearly 76% of adults have received at least 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, but only 25% of pregnant people. The CDC and other major medical groups have strengthened recommendations that pregnant people get vaccinated.
Pregnant people compared to non-pregnant people have an increased risk when they get SARS-CoV-2 infection of hospitalization, ICU admission, the the need for mechanical ventilation, and they have a higher risk of dying.
Northwestern University's Dr. Emily Miller says recommendations were originally not stronger because pregnant patients were excluded from clinical trials.
Scientists around the country have been working tirelessly to fill those gaps, and we're at a point where the medical community really feel like we have the sufficient data to say that this is safe and that we recommend it.
Studies show vaccinated pregnant people can transfer antibodies to their newborns. Catrice remained in the hospital to get oxygen support until CJ arrived, but was able to get her first shot before he was born.
I wanted him to have as much protection as possible.
CJ was almost a month early and is thriving.
I always said, if I make it out of here, I'm going to share my story, because people need to know that this thing is serious.
She hopes others get the message that getting vaccinated can keep families safe. Tara Molina, CBS News, Chicago.
And he's so cute. Congrats to her. An analysis of CDC data did not find an increased risk of miscarriage among nearly 2,500 pregnant women who were vaccinated before 20 weeks. Next week, the booster COVID shots will begin to roll out, but not everyone is on board with getting a booster so soon. 2 FDA leaders are stepping down in the coming weeks, as well as other international scientists who disagree with the booster rollout. Those FDA leaders are not happy with the White House's push for the vaccine rollout to begin next week. They argue that the current COVID vaccine supply could save more lives if used by people who are not vaccinated yet. And if you're needing a COVID test in Richmond, Emmanuel, or Jenkins County, we have a list on your screen right now. The East Central Public Health District office is now open in Augusta, Monday through Friday from 8:30 to 12:30. AU Medical Center is open until 3, Monday through Saturday. The Emmanuel Medical Center is open until 5 o'clock on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the Jenkins County Medical Center is open Tuesdays and Thursdays from 11 to 5 o'clock. Registration is now open for and you can buy those on their website. Still ahead, as COVID cases in kids continue to rise, the hopes of the vaccine by this fall are being held on to. The latest on those efforts next.
And we are tracking Tropical Storm Nicholas, which is going to bring some flash flooding to Texas and Louisiana and potentially bring us some wet weather later this week. We'll have the full forecast coming up.
President Biden has declared a major disaster in California as wildfires continue to burn across the state. Today, Biden will visit some of the damage out in Sacramento. This comes as many people are finally able to return to their homes after the Caldor fire burned through. A layer of ash covers the ground where homes once stood, and homeowners are still working to assess the damage and rebuild.
It was a little bit of emotional, but for the most part, I kind of knew what I was coming here to see.
So sad to see that damage in that video. And Riley, so many people still affected by these fires burning out in the west, and here at home we're seeing some of those effects.
Absolutely, Zaina. We are dealing with smoke again this afternoon. This has made for some fairly pretty sunrises and sunsets, and it's made the moon look a pretty cool color with the smoke in the sky. And it is over the two-state again this afternoon. Now, as far as impacts go, we're not seeing a lot of this get down to the surface level, so it's not really impacting our air quality all too much. But if you have been outside today, you may have noticed the sky just kind of has that brownish-orange tint to it. So you can see it kind of low in the horizon here from our Grovetown cam. That is the wildfire smoke. To just give you a scale on how big those wildfires actually are. Smoke all the way from the west coast has made it to the east coast here where we are. 88 degrees right now this afternoon. Temperatures are below 90 at the moment, and they should stay shy of 90 for the rest of today. We are keeping a close eye on Tropical Storm Nicholas. This is looking better and better on satellite imagery, but radar view of it showing that it's really struggling to kind of form and maintain a low-level circulation. So we're seeing some pretty decent rain on the northern and western side of the center. Nicholas is a tropical storm mech, sustained winds up to 60 miles per hour. It's moving north at about 12 miles per hour, but that speed should start to slow down as it does move inland late tonight into early Tuesday. You can just see the flash flood risk that's going to continue across the Texas and Louisiana coastline. They could see as much as a foot of rain in some places, but widespread totals of 6 to 10 inches along the Texas and Louisiana coast. As we head into tonight and early tomorrow, we'll likely see Nicholas move onshore, make landfall, and then it is going to start weakening fairly rapidly. Even though it is going to be a much weaker system, we'll most likely just see the remnants of this storm's name is, Mikhail, help me out. Nicholas, why can't I just blanked on that? Nicholas. All right, Nicholas is most likely just going to see the remnants of Nicholas heading into the middle of this week. So our rain chances do start to go up by Wednesday, stick around Thursday, Friday, even into the weekend as well. So we've enjoyed some really nice weather the past several days this weekend. Our Tuesday does look mostly dry. Not expecting much rain in the forecast till we get to Wednesday, and then unfortunately even into the weekend, those rain chances do stay elevated for us. Our current temperatures right now at the moment are in the mid to upper 80s. 91 is the hot spot currently in Louisville there in Jefferson County, and here around the metro, 89 in Martinez, 89 Grovetown, so there are a few hot spots out there. Our low temperatures tonight don't look quite as cool. We should stay away from the 50s. Most of us waking up into the mid-60s by tomorrow morning. And if you are going to be up early tomorrow morning, remember there is going to be the risk for some dense fog across the area between 6 and 8 a.m. So just to watch out for that. Temperatures will be warming up back into the low 90s by tomorrow afternoon, and your Tuesday does look dry. It's really going to have to wait out until Wednesday later into the week. Those rain chances do look better. But here's your high temperatures tomorrow. Seasonal for this time of year, if not maybe a degree or two warmer than average. As we head into our Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, those temperatures do start to back off a tad, at least with high temperatures, but that's just going to be thanks to an abundance of clouds. So I'm expecting more clouds than sun Wednesday through Friday. Rain chances looking pretty decent as well, and definitely feeling more humidity over the next several days.
Thanks so much, Riley. Week after week, more kids are getting COVID-19, but leading health experts say there could be a light at the end of the tunnel. Britt Conway has the latest on the push to get a vaccine authorized for kids 5 to 11.
We're seeing infections throughout every age group.
You don't want to go through this. You don't.
Infants and very young children, school-age children, and unvaccinated teenagers.
Medical experts say early diagnosis is crucial. Better yet, prevention.
Use masking and other measures to keep our children safe and reassure parents that help is on the way.
Help in the form of a vaccine. Former FDA Commissioner Dr. Scott Gottlieb is on Pfizer's board, and Dr. James Brasalovic is helping run children's trials.
You could potentially have a vaccine available to children aged 5 to 11 by Halloween.
That is our goal, October. We are doing everything we can now to move these trials ahead, and they're moving ahead well.
In the meantime, the FDA has made it clear parents need to wait on the formal authorization, saying, quote, children are not small adults, and the vaccine doses that are currently being studied in younger children are not necessarily the same vaccine doses that have been approved for other age groups. Right now, the FDA says clinical trials are still underway, but once the relevant portion is complete, it will work with the manufacturers to analyze the data. Then the manufacturer can submit for emergency use authorization. After that, the FDA will evaluate benefits and risks, a process they say could take just a matter of weeks. And in the face of Delta, every week, every day counts. I'm Britt Conway, reporting.
And of course, their goal again is this fall, so of course we'll be following, keep you guys updated right now with that vaccine in children's 5 to 11. Coming up, at any age, you can save a life. That's what one 13-year-old proves during a house fire. How she jumped into action when we get back.
Do you suffer? The Live by Camera Network is brought to you by Mountaineer Pest Services.
At Davis Appliance and Furniture, you'll find the top brands at the lowest prices in town. With over 24,000 square feet of showroom floor, you'll find exactly what you're looking for. Bedroom suites, sofa sets, and appliances, we have them in stock. From our floor to your door, visit Davis Appliance and Furniture.
Is your credit score getting in?
Welcome to Davis Appliance and Furniture, where you can find the best deals in town. We have sectional starting at $5.99, and we offer financing and delivery to meet your needs. For the top brands at the lowest prices in town, visit us at Davis Appliance and Furniture.
A 13-year-old is being credited with saving his 4 sisters from a house fire in Webster, Wisconsin. Jennifer Merrill meets the brother and his thankful family.
The Omars searched through what's left of their home days after a fire tore through it with their 5 kids inside.
Anything I can salvage, whether it's a baby hat from the hospital or a picture.
Kelly and Jay ran out to grab dinner for the family. They had been gone about 10 minutes when the kids smelled smoke.
And my sister just said it was really smoky, and we looked behind us and the playpen was on fire.
The kids, ranging in age from 6 months to 13 years old, were on the first floor. Breyer, the oldest, acted quickly.
My sisters, that was the first thing I thought of. and I just knew I needed to get him out of the house.
The family had talked about what to do in an emergency. He got his sisters to safety and thought he could save the house too, using a fire extinguisher.
And it went up in bigger flames, and I just couldn't breathe, I couldn't see, and then I almost collapsed, and then that's when I felt my dog rub against me, and I grabbed her, and she led me out the doors.
Mandy, the dog, and Briar got out in time for their parents to pull up to the home.
Until you physically saw every single child, it was terrifying.
They credit Briar with saving their family, devastated by what was lost, but so very fortunate for what they still have.
And we're just so thankful that every single one of them made it out. So if it wasn't for my son, I don't know where I'd be.
And we're thankful that that family is still together and okay. Friends have created an online GoFundMe campaign to help the family. Meanwhile, the cause of the fire is still under investigation, but thankful for that 13-year-old for stepping up and taking action and saving his whole family. You can help anyone at any age. You're never too young, for sure.
Absolutely. Incredible story right there. We are tracking